going on, my beautiful people? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Mr. Getting It Done. Today, we're gonna talk about credit utilization, man. This is another heavy question that I get all the time. Most people don't understand how utilization works, which ultimately affects your credit score. In my opinion, it has the highest effect on your credit score, and people wonder why they can't get past a certain number, or they're like, oh, well, I paid my credit card on time or this one, but why is my score this, right? So we're about to talk about credit utilization. We're about to dive deep. Get your pens, get your pencils, right? Take notes, and if you have any questions, you can certainly leave them in the comments below, and I'll make a video addressing that and get that answered for you. So let's dive right in. So credit utilization, okay, we're gonna break this down to the micro. So basically, credit utilization, simply put, is how much of your credit limit you're using, how much of your credit you're using in relation to your limit, okay? So an example I have here on my board right here. So let's just go right in and break this down, okay? And I'm visual, right? I'm a visual person, so I know some of you are visual learners, which is why I put it on here as opposed to just talking about it and not being able to paint the picture. So I hope for the video that this is clear, right? So this is an example, okay? So if you have $1,000 credit card, okay? So there's a credit pie chart, and I'll make a video about that, but for this video's sake, we're just gonna talk about the pie chart, and 30% of that pie chart, 30% is your revolving credit, is your utilization, okay? So if you have $1,000 credit card, 30% of that is $300. So at any given point in time on that credit card, you should not be using more than $300 on that credit card. So, well, if they give me $1,000 credit card, why aren't I using, why can't I use more? Because the banks want to know that you know how to use the card responsibly, right? If you use more than $300, that means you're gonna have a higher percentage, right? You're gonna go over that 30%, and that 30% is on the pie chart as a generalization. So that's the barometer that they're gonna judge you by. If you use more than $300, you're gonna go over that 30%, because that 30% makes up your credit score, that FICO score, that 3-digit number that lenders use to say yay or nay. So it's very important to understand, if you have $1,000 credit card, you should not be using more than $300 on that puppy, okay? And when you do use it, and that's here at the bottom, you want to pay it down to zero every time if you can. And I understand life happens. I understand, everybody's in a different situation and scenarios are different. I get all that. But if you have the opportunity to pay it to zero whenever you use it, do so. Because that's gonna avoid you paying interest to the banks, and that's how they make their money. And I'll tell you right now, credit cards have one of the highest interest rate, if not the highest interest rates around in the industry, right? Some credit cards have 19, 20, 27, 29%. So if you carrying over a balance, they're hitting you with that 29% every single month. So if you can pay it down to zero, I highly recommend it. It avoids you paying interest to the bank, right? And it puts more money in your pocket, which ultimately you can use to pay this down, okay? So another thing, right, that most people are not talking about is 30% is the barometer, okay? It's on the pie chart. It's what the minimum threshold looks like, right? That paints the picture. But we also have elite status, which people are not talking about, okay? So elite status is 5%. Between 5 to 7% is elite usage, right? So I use 5% in this example, which is $50. So if you have $1,000 credit card, right? 5% of that is $50. But yo, D, why would I use $50 on $1,000 credit card? That can be your gas, that can be your lunch, that can be your gym membership. Something as small as that. Now, again, if you use 50 every month and you have $1,000 limit, you're considered elite. That's elite usage. A lot of people don't know about this, right? So you're letting the banks know that you definitely know how to use this card. And how many of us cannot pay 50 off in its entirety? The majority of us can. So now you've paid this debt off, You've used the 50, you've paid it off, you know, in its entirety at the end of the month when your statement is due, right? And now your utilization stays at 0. You using the card like you should be, right? So anybody that has a credit card, you should be using it. If you're not using it, it goes dormant. That means it goes to sleep. And then now it's not factored into the algorithm, and that hurts your score. Okay, so that's a whole different other video. But you should be using your credit card, and you should know how to use it so you can use it responsibly. A lot of us will go out and get credit cards and not use them because we're scared, we're using them for emergencies or whatever, and it's like, no. A credit card is to build your credit, so use it. Don't be scared to use it. Most people just don't know how to use it, right? So they're afraid to use it. Right? So let's address the elephant in the room, because ignorance is what makes you scared of not using the credit card. But once you educate yourself and you know how to use it, then go ahead and use it and teach your kids, your family, your friends, etc., how to properly use your credit card. So 5% is elite status, my people, right? So go out and you know, go out, use the $50 on that $1,000 credit card, pay it back in its entirety every month. Okay, and you're gonna see your score go up. You're gonna see that your score doesn't go like a graph. It doesn't go up and down every single month, right? And then now, once the banks see that you're using it correctly, now they're gonna increase that credit limit on you, right? So now that $1,000 becomes $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, right? So now you can use more and more and more. It's a waiting game. It's a game of Monopoly. It's a patience game, my people. Okay, so if you got a $1,000 credit card, don't go out and max it out, because if you max it out, your score's gonna take a hit, right? And maxing out your credit card is like making a late payment. It's equivalent. It's one and the same, and that is no bueno, right? So we're here to learn how to use credit. We're here to learn how to build credit so that we can leverage it to support our businesses, to you know, maybe, you know, buy that investment property, whatever the case is. You can use credit for a multitude of things. So we're here on this channel talking about credit, how to build credit. I'm a FICO certified specialist. I've used credit to accumulate everything that I have. My houses, my cars, you know, my portfolio, stocks, whatever. I've used credit for everything. I've used zero of my money. And I'll talk about on this channel how I was able to do that. And I'll talk about some of the strategies that I utilize to make that happen. But we out here sharing information, trying to get everybody to level up. Right? So I'm taking everything that I've learned along my journey, I'm sharing it with you so that you can take the information, apply it, so that you can change your life and your family's trajectory. So my people, if you like this video, if the utilization that I just broke down to you makes sense, leave a comment below. Tell me if you liked it. Tell me if you didn't like it. Tell me if I left anything out, right? Hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Please consider subscribing. If you have any questions regarding credit, drop them in the comments. I'll make a video. You know, we're trying to I'm taking the macro and breaking it down into the micro so that every one of us can understand that credit is not hard to understand. We're just ignorant. We're not taught. These things are not taught in school. So most of us, we learn from life, right? Life is our teacher. Right? And some of those lessons are hard. Some of those lessons put us in a hole. Some of those lessons, have us filing bankruptcy. Right? So let's circumvent that by getting educated, by learning about credit, and by going out and taking this information and applying it so that way you know it works. Right? Everything that I just broke down, try it. Let me know how your score turns out. Leave your score in the comments and let's grow together, man. Thank you for stopping by the channel. I'll catch you in the next video, my beautiful people. Peace.